checking in. It's the bank holiday, going into stealth mode where I just hustle all bank holiday and work on the exam coach, get some content done. I've been figuring a few things out on the back end, but looking to create huge amounts of content through April and May this year, 2018. This morning, I thought of something which I think will be valuable to everybody who is currently in school and uni. I got up at about 5:15, hit that snooze like most people up and down the country do. It was just a knee-jerk reaction. I actually put my phone on the other side of my room, so I have to get out of bed. But I was in utter zombie mode and just snoozed it up. 5 minutes later, alarm goes off again, and I'm really not feeling it. I was just a bit knackered, but I knew I had to get up because I had to go to the gym. I had to get my stuff done. And what's really going to make me happy is executing the schedule day in, day out. Getting the reps in, both mentally and physically through the gym, mentally through the game that is the exam coach that I'm playing. I'm enjoying it. But I remember that my first thought when I got out of bed, I had like a weird it wasn't really a flashback, it was just a memory that came up in my head. Don't want to get too woo-woo about it, but basically the thing that I remembered was I remember being down in Lympston with the Royal Marines cadets when I was 16. Must have been 16, 17. And every day there, they get up at 5 a.m. regardless. They're Royal Marines. They, one of the most difficult jobs in the world. And I thought of the situation that I was just in, and I kind of said, don't be absolutely pathetic, mate. You're living in bloody Shoreditch. You've just got up at 5:15, and you're moody because you have to go to the gym. Man up, crack on, get a bloody protein bar down you, have a bit of water, liquid thinking, get a coffee down you, and go and smash it. And I've just peeled off the back of that now, and I'm feeling cracking. So the point is here for you 13 to 21 year olds is mapping back to that original reference point that actually made me put things into perspective this morning. The reference point is obviously, as I've mentioned, the Royal Marines cadets, joining that. Now, I remember I was 13 when I joined them, and you had to go through a fitness test, and it was competitive, and it was seen as a cool thing to do because it was competitive, and a lot of the sports guys did it because it was essentially just endurance training plus you learn how to handle a weapon and the basic kind of drills of amphibious war tactics. Getting a bit linguistic there, aren't I? I'm not really too clued up on my military terminology, but there are a few gems dropped in there whilst I was a cadet that I learned. I could probably still do a weapons handling test as well, actually, on an SA-80 rifle. We'll see if I could do that, hey? Not that I have one to hand. I'll have to go to a range, but they don't have them in the UK, clearly. Well, I don't know of any. Anyway, going off a tangent there, getting back on track. The key thing here is it was a cool thing to begin with, the Royal Marines cadets, but after 1 or 2 years, people dropped out because it was difficult and the vibe changed. It became something that maybe wasn't that cool because, especially in my school, some of the key sports guys started to knock it. It was seen as a bit of an admin task. I think that's a bit of a harsh perspective, and I did my best to repel that because I don't know how I actually powered through it. I just didn't want to follow the crowd. I was just like, no, man, I'm not doing what you say I should do. I'm doing what I want to do, and I continued doing the Royal Marines all the way up until my last year when I stopped doing it because I wanted to focus on trying to get into Oxford Uni, which I didn't do, so cracking, but don't regret that. Had to go all in on that, so screw it. did it the way I wanted to. And the key thing is, just don't let other people tell you what is and isn't cool. You decide, and make sure you do stuff. Because this morning I thought back to all those guys that had dropped out and didn't get that opportunity to go down and train with the actual Royal Marines down in Exeter, Lympstone, the training camp. You can look it up on the internet, it's awesome. Did like the obstacle course there, did everything. Basically experienced what it would be like to be, not comparing myself to a Royal Marine at all, because they are beasts, and the Green Beret is something that is to be respected, of course. But I had a small sample of what it might be like to be a Royal Marine for 4 or 5 days, and we're waking up at 5 a.m, and that allowed me today to put it in perspective that I just needed to crack on, and I'd overpowered things way more tough than this when I was 16. I'm 24 now. If I can't do it now, come on, do the math, man. But the key thing is, you have to build those reference points for yourself, because if you don't do anything, you're not going to have the reference points to call on. You're not going to have the life experiences which are going to carry you through times like this, or difficult situations or challenges. And I don't care who you are, no matter how talented you think you are, it is very, very difficult to do things first time round to a very high standard when you haven't got the reference point in the past of when you did it before. And that's what school's for. It's all about just taking those opportunities, doing the random stuff that chucks you in a situation where it's tough, it's difficult, you're probably going to fail, you don't know what the hell you're doing, but that's what it's all about. And then you find when you pop out the other side, you can do stuff. I genuinely believe I can have a fair crack at almost anything. And I just think there's a lot of people who are in my situation who don't have those reference points, those moments when they could prove to themselves that, yeah, of course I can do that if I put my mind to it, if I set my routines up, and if I work towards it day in, day out, and put things into the right perspective so I can frame things up in order to crush them. And you just got to take that opportunity, guys. Just please do it. Please don't listen to whoever you think the cool kid is. You're the cool kid. You run things, you call the shots. Don't tell anybody else what to do. You don't need to do that. Just worry about yourself. But whenever anybody's trying to influence you, tell you the right way to go, tell you what they think, listen, agree maybe, disagree lightly, but then come to an agreement. But then through your actions, those are the things that actually matter. That's how you play it out. That's how you actually show that I'm doing what's right for me, because I know down the line this is going to help me and it's the right thing to do. So make sure you do that, and don't let yourself off the hook, because you'll regret it. And once you've done your schooling and your education, you can't go back. That's it. That's how life works. You just move forward. You have some regrets, but you try and limit them to regret minimization. Great term, coined publicly by Jeff Bezos, probably the most powerful dude in the world at the moment, owner of Amazon, if you don't know. I expect you do. He's also the richest bloke in the world. Doesn't necessarily make him the most powerful, but at the same time, I think what he says is just great. It's true. Regret minimization, what a cracking principle. Everything you do is based on having the least amounts of regrets when you're 80. Think about that. I'm going to check out. Go make myself some scrambled eggs, a little protein shake, and I'm going to smash today. Have a cracker.